A very good afternoon, everyone. And thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for this amazing session on transforming from managers to leaders, unlocking your potential. A leader is an individual who strategizes a visionary and, most importantly, someone who inspires other people to greatness. In order to explain about the transformation from managers to leaders, we have Ms. Kavitha Jale on board with us today. She is a certified human resource professional and a member of SHRM, Society of Human Resource Management, with more than 15 years of global experience in leadership development, employee engagement, and corporate social responsibilities as her passionate contributions. She worked for iFlex, Verizon, MetLife, and Talentees in human resources and now started her consulting services to empower people and organizations in her core competencies. She believes that leaders are crucial to the personal and professional development of their teams. Kavitha Jale, a warm welcome to you and over to you.
Thank you, Venkat. Thank you, Etika. Thank you, Shiva, for having me for this great first session of mine for Etika. And firstly, I would like to congratulate all the audience, for registering for such a beautiful and lovely program. And simultaneously, would like to congratulate Etika for being a preferred vendor, I would say, for offering such lovely program to your audience. In fact, this is the most trending program, and there have been so many, efforts going on from the top leadership of organizations to improve the leadership skills, to cascade it down to other levels. So very glad to be part of it. And today in this session, as Venkat said, we will be exploring together what are the key set of behaviors that an effective leader should have or exhibit, or a manager has to exhibit to transform himself from the manager or less effective leaders to the most effective leaders. And at the same time, we will have an opportunity to self-assess yourself, because all my programs or sessions, we provide an opportunity first to self-assess where we are. And then you understand, right, where to go. What's your expectation for yourself? So, and the last one is, so I want to mention here, I have 133 participants, and maybe all may not be leading the team, but it's an opportunity for you to assess your manager too, and also you will be tomorrow's managers or leaders. So it's a great opportunity again, to take all the polls that we conduct today with the help of Venkat, and participate actively. Be very interactive, and let's learn together. I feel always all my sessions are shared learning. And last one is, let's share a few tips to unlock your potential. For Kavitha Jale believes everyone is a leader. So Venkat, I would like to share my screen and move on.
Yes, ma'am, you can take it.
So before we move on to understand the core part of the session, I want to understand from you or take your opinion on, what do you think? Leaders are born or made or both? So let's go ahead with first poll and start from here.
Okay, so 51% of the audience said it's both, and 41% of the audience said it's made, and 8% of the audience said they are born leaders.
Wonderful. That's awesome. I too really agree with you guys, because always I feel, there is one seed of leadership in all the human beings born on the planet. Only when you embrace it, when you nurture it, when you nourish it, then, when you unlock it, then the real leader, the effective leader comes out of you. So you guys are perfect. It's both. Thank you so much. Now let's, I would like to present a small video, a short video on a leader boy. And this gives you, to understand how a leader behaves through the uncertainty. Are you guys ready?
सर आपके लिए उस पार कार का इंतजाम किया है सर आइए ए चल चल
Can we list some competencies or characteristics that you think that a leader should possess? Maybe you can just put it in your chat box, please. Number one, who is the first one to? Leading by example, empathy, perfect, very nice. Responsibility, ability to listen, decision-making, communication, motivation, patience, perseverance, ready to serve, honest, idle, who said idle? Being cool, initiative, setting an example, absorbing the pressure, mentorship, compassion, servant leadership, awesome. Sense of humor, I really like this. Emotionally strong, being positive, multitasking, vision, risk-taking, collaborative, provide direction, integrity. That's great. My God, I think we have got more than, I should say more than 30, 40. Yes. There are so many, there are so many competencies that a leader possesses. And this video, in fact, is reflecting all those few of those competencies and how a leader thrives during uncertainty. Okay, so why this topic has become so critical? Because there are so many challenges that continue, right? Every day, new challenges coming up. What is the most recent challenge for us? Can somebody put it in the chat? Venkat, appreciate if you could just read it out in the chat, please.
Yeah, I'll do it. So, pandemic.
Perfect. We got the answer. Pandemic is the most recent challenge that, where we have been, everyone, individuals, organizations, I think nations, we were all impacted. It's a global impact. And that's where leadership has become very critical. And also, there were so many drivers of engagement, right? I mean, engagement in the sense towards the production, towards the productivity of an individual for organization success. But these drivers of engagement have changed when compared to pre-pandemic, they were different, but post-pandemic, they were really different. So great organizations in their surveys have realized all these 6 or the top drivers of engagement. That means the expectations or the demands of employees have changed from pre-pandemic to post-pandemic. And that is the reason, the leadership is very critical now, unlike before. So what are these drivers of engagement? Just we'll take little time to understand this. Earlier, during pre-pandemic, employees they want to be part of an exciting future, getting inspired by the senior leadership. But post-pandemic, no, it was not the same. They want to see the organization, how it's going to navigate through the uncertainty, and then take a decision whether this organization or this leadership will really navigate me through all this uncertainty or the challenges that come across, because it became very evident that, all the challenges keep continuing. And then the second one we identified as communication. Earlier, employees used to feel that, they are ready to listen once they are listened to. Now the context has been changed. They need more transparency, and it has to be multidirectional communication. And the trust is the third one that has been identified globally as a major driver of engagement, where they used to have trust on the senior leadership, but now it has been shifted to the local business unit leadership. That's how you see the expectations of the employees have been shifted from pre-pandemic to the post-pandemic. And then the recognition. Earlier, employees used to feel, whether their contributions are noticed or not, but now they are looking at a sense of belongingness, whether during this uncertainty, whether the organization making them feel to get a sense of belongingness to navigate through the uncertainty. And then the next one would be the growth and development. Employees they want to explore different opportunities for their growth, to learn, to advance, to grow in the organization. But now employees feel that what all efforts they have put in the pandemic, they are to be rewarded in the form of opportunities. See how their mindset of the employees have been changed pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. And then the support and involvement. The employees want to be part of something big, which needs the senior leadership support and their involvement. But now, post-pandemic, they want more of an individualized approach to their experiences, and they want the support from the senior leadership to support them to undergo such individualized experiences. That is the reason, this leadership topic has become more critical post-pandemic. So definitely, don't you think, guys, leadership makes a big difference for all of us? Yes, it is. And can you please help me out putting in the chat box? What are the different levels of leadership we have in an organization? Of course, I have displayed the screen, but even then.
It is frontline, middle, and top.
Perfect. Yeah. And okay. And what do you think? Which leadership is the most critical one among the three?
Frontline.
Somebody said frontline. Okay. Of course, I have to agree, but I feel that, all the leadership levels are really critical in an organization. Right? It's the executive leaders, the middle-level managers, and the frontline managers, because whatever the decisions have been taken by the executive leaders, they have to be cascaded down to the middle level and then to the frontline managers. Yeah, Nitish. Nitish has a question, please.
We can take the questions at the end of the webinar. I think that will be the perfect time to take the questions. So you can just go through the workshop now.
Okay. Now a small task again for you, for the beautiful audience, because your participation is really great. So can you please think about the best leader you have ever worked with or known? When I say leader, it could be your school teacher. You can happily go back to your school days or college days. So you can just put in your chat box and write, you can say teacher or a professor or your boss, and then put a small hyphen, and please help me out with what behaviors or adjectives comes to your mind when you think about that leader. what behaviors and adjectives come to your mind when you think about that specific leader? It could be your school teacher, it could be your college professor, or maybe your boss, your workplace, anyone. So I think we have many answers, Venkat.
Rachana says mother, disciplined, hardworking, planner.
Okay.
So Gaurav is telling teacher, equality. Prashant says his previous boss, vision and execution.
Okay.
And again, boss, planning and execution, innovations, patience and perseverance. Shivasaran says Dhoni, collectiveness, leading from the front.
Okay, great.
Again, we have MS Dhoni, smart, cool, and good decision-making skill.
Awesome. So I always believe that there are tons of books in libraries where you find many competencies of a leader. Why can't we just go grab a book and, go through that, and then can you imbibe leadership like that? I don't think so. Then all these sessions would have not been there. But, experiential learning, it's learning leadership through an experience is really awesome, and it has more impact on our lives. So when you say your school teacher, when you say your mother, when you say Dhoni, I mean, who very close to you, who are with you, and the very good things that you like about them, then you feel like, wow, I should also behave like this. So don't you think when you're around such leaders, then you imbibe in a very greater way rather than reading a book? Do you guys agree with me? Great. Okay. So now coming to the core topic, the key behaviors that helps, to transform from managers to leaders. Again, as I said, there could be managers, there could be, less effective leaders too. But if they are really keen on exhibiting these simple behaviors, when I say effective leaders, don't think that, these are all complex set of behaviors, but they are really very simple behaviors that helps us to become an effective leader. So based on the research, these are the 3 factors found to be most related to highly effective leadership. So what are they? They are to lead, equipping and enabling the employees, and then engaging, which is the most important and the humanistic factor, I can say. So coming to the first one, to lead, what is that a leader has to do? He has to be very clear on giving the purpose of the work to an employee. He has to give a lot of clarity on the purpose of the work to his team. And he should keep up his commitments. And he should be very transparent. So these are the key set of behaviors that, great organizations in the survey has found that helps everybody, to move towards effective leadership. And then the second one is equipping and enabling employees. How can you do that? It's by providing continuous feedback, a personal investment of your time in their growth and development, and also, an effort to improve their performance. And the third one is engaging. This is the most loveliest part post-pandemic, I would say. And this really creates, the real difference between a manager and a leader. It's caring, it's listening, and respecting others. So now let's move on and see each one in detail. Leading talent. It could be leading talent or leading business. Based on the survey results, globally, it has been identified that 85% of employees are not clear on the purpose of their work. Is it not something surprising to us? Of course, for me, it is. And when I've been very recently to few organizations on creating employment engagement strategies, I was really shocked to see that many employees are they belong to the same boat. So then I would not really call the boss as an effective leader. So what we should do here? As I said just now, provide clarity. Can you please put in your chat box, why should a leader provide clarity to their team? Why should the leader provide clarity to their team?
To get
Yes,
an effective results and for directions, to avoid confusion, transparency and effectiveness, and clarity in understanding the issues and find solutions, because then all can work as a team to achieve the desired goals, to know what the goal is. Vision
Awesome.
and intention should be clear to achieve goals. Growth plan to have better vision and direction. They will understand why we are doing the job and what we are doing to desired results. To eliminate communication gaps, to understand the requirement, to understand the need of work, goal setting, save time.
Awesome, you have great audience. Thank you so much for making my day. So generally, yes, you're all right. When you provide clarity, that creates focus to the team member, right? That creates confidence. And for example, when the assumption here is, if the purpose or the paycheck both are equal, please listen carefully. If the purpose or the paycheck both are same, one and the same, literally, then when you are offered a job, the pay with purpose, and I'm sorry, the work with purpose, a job with purpose, and job with a paycheck. Guys, which one do you like to prefer? A job with purpose or a job with a paycheck? Again, the assumption is purpose and paycheck both are same. I'm sure everyone will put in your chat box, job with, is it not purpose, Venkat? I can't hear you, Venkat.
Some of them says purpose and also paycheck, both.
Oh my God, then I think I'm very sorry. I'm not clear.
Soumya is telling that passion, purpose and pay.
Of course. I agree with you, Soumya. I agree with you. So those who said paycheck, the paycheck is equal to purpose. That's what I have been telling, the purpose and the paycheck are equal. Then still you prefer the paycheck? And I really don't think so. Okay, so that's what I mean is you need to provide clarity to your team to create focus and also to create great confidence in them. Without any purpose, they are really confused, as somebody said.
Sorry to interrupt you, Kavitha.
What the leader has to do, he not only has to outline the direction. Please, Venkat.
Your voice is breaking. It is not clear. Can you repeat the last sentence? And if possible, please check your internet connection, whether it is stable or not.
Sure. Okay. Is it clear now, Venkat?
No, it is not.
Okay. Kindly hold on.
I request all the audience to be with patience.
Okay.
Internet connection is not stable. Kavitha will join us and again will take us through this journey.
Venkat, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am, it is clear.
Okay. Very sorry about this.
No problem.
Okay. So this, I repeat the first one again. So a leader has to be responsible enough to not only outline the directions and goals, but also to inspire them with a vision so that they'll have a very clear clarity on the purpose of what they are doing. So now let's run the first poll on clarity. Venkat, please help me out.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
So now the question for you is, if you are leading a team, I would like to ask you, do you provide clarity to your team on the purpose of the work? Or if you want to assess your manager, does your manager provide clarity to your team on the purpose of the work? Oh, I think 72% said always. That's awesome. That's awesome. So we are going to end the poll now. So are we sharing the results, Venkat?
Yes. So 72% are telling that they will always give the clarity. 21% is often, 7% is sometimes, and 1% is rarely.
Yeah, but it's really differing with the global results. In fact, we, as per results of the survey, it has been found that 85% of employees are not clear. But if you all say that, 72% of the audience have voted that they have got clarity on the purpose, or they have provided clarity to their team, that's really awesome. And the second key behavior is keeping up with the commitments. So now my question again for you is, why should a leader keep up his commitments, please? All these are very simple behaviors, but these are essential behaviors like food, water, and air. So why do you keep up your commitments with your team? Be honest in your responses, please, because this helps us, to assess ourselves. At the end of this session, we will be assessing ourselves, what kind of behaviors we have been exhibiting, and is it needed that we need to change them or improvise them to become more effective. So unless you give your honest opinion on this poll, I think that is appreciable. So do you keep up your commitment? Suppose if your boss says that to the team member, we are going to meet today, and again he says that, I'm not in a position to meet, and it has been, repetitive, then that's really not good, right? Okay. So now I will note down for the second poll, 47% says always that the boss or your manager or leader keeps up commitments. That's great.
40% is often, 11% is sometimes, 1% and 1% rarely and never.
Then you are awesome. You guys are awesome. Okay. So my question is, why should the leader have to keep up the commitments? Can you please put your answer in the chat box? What is the reason?
Venkat, you can read out the reasons. There are also already some responses.
To build trust, faith, it helps you to have a good connect with your team, to show the right behavior, lead by an example, set expectations, to set right example, trust, motivations, to build respect for self.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Belief
Yeah.
and bond to be there between two levels.
Yeah, I think somebody has said to build the trust. I mean, all the answers are very relevant. Yes, they need to build that builds trust, right? When you keep up your commitments with your team. So always leaders, please stay true to your word, be fair, and always do the right thing and not the required thing. So let's move on to the third behavior, which is called being transparent. Why should we do that again? Can we use our chat box, please? Why a leader has to be transparent to their team, please?
Again, to build trust, to win trust, open-minded, belief, collaborations, to set right goals, healthy environment, to achieve the goals,
Great.
avoid confusion among the team members, to set character, to build confidence, to set the right vision.
Yes. Great. Wonderful. You guys are really wonderful. So transparency really provides great assurance, right? It gives a lot of assurance. And hence the leader always have to communicate what all the decisions or the progress to the team members and keep always the interactions, very open. So these are the few behaviors that has been identified, and we can run the third poll on transparency, Venkat.
The poll is on communication, so I've just launched.
Sure. Do you communicate? I'm asking the manager. Do you communicate? Be very fair and honest. Yeah. Do you communicate decisions and progress transparently with your team? Again, always is leading. Then I have so many leaders in today's session. That's wonderful. That's wonderful to see very positive responses. Very happy though. 57% says always.
30 says often.
30 says often. Yes.
10 is sometimes. 2 and 2 is never and rarely.
Okay. So my request to the audience is, you can just note it down in your notepad, what all, whether you have selected never or rarely or sometimes for each question, so that at the end of that, we will do a self-assessment. And that will not be revealed to anyone too. Okay. Thank you so much. So Venkat, I'm moving ahead with the next slide, please.
Yes.
The second one is equipping and enabling employees.
We cannot see your screen. If possible, please share it.
Oh. Hope it's clear now, Venkat. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. The next one is equipping and enabling employees. And now the new employee value proposition are two things: the career enhancement and reskilling. I think 2 years back, World Economic Forum, which is composed of some 35 CEOs, 350 organizations, and 25 ministers, have taken this reskilling revolutionary initiative. Why? Because this helps to really gain economies of nations or organizations or societies. So this has become a new employee value proposition very recently, after pandemic. So how to equip and enable your employees? As discussed, as said before, the first one, the behavior that we expect from the leaders is providing continuous feedback. Provide continuous feedback. Why? Why should we provide, the leader has to provide the continuous feedback? Can we please put your response in the chat box?
So I've just launched a poll about the feedback. So we can see those.
That's fine. Yeah. So do you provide continuous feedback to your team, or does your manager provide continuous feedback to your team? Yes, it's 47% says always and 32%.
32 often, 15 sometimes, rarely is 5 this time, never is 1%, as usual.
Okay. Okay, great. And why should we provide, the leader has to provide feedback to the team members, please? Simultaneously, can you put your response in your chat box?
Yeah. To be engaged, to be focused.
Okay.
A leader leads by examples, not by force.
To
give a proper input and output from them.
Right.
Timely improvement to improve, to grow, motivation, to improve ourselves, to know team's opinion, so that they can take necessary actions for their continuous improvement, learning and development to achieve goals together, for the better results and clarity, to be clear with the work improvement for betterment of our own self motivations.
Okay, great. Awesome responses. Definitely, yes. It's always good to give continuous feedback that helps to fix the problem then and there, right? Instead of, right now, great organizations have this continuous feedback in their PMS. Yeah, so that's really needed. And then, so it's the responsibility of a leader to provide relevant and immediate input, the feedback to the team members, so that helps them to understand where he's lagging behind and he can fix it. And also, it's not just giving the feedback, but it's a responsibility of the leader to communicate that same with interest. So this is what my request is. You need to communicate with a lot of interest to your team member, so on the feedback that you would like to share with them. And then the next behavior in this category is personal investment. So can we please put it in the chat box again? Why you have to do that? And simultaneously, Venkat has released the poll also.
Yeah,
you can
I've just launched the poll.
Do you invest your time to help your team focus on the goals? Or does your manager invest his or her time to help their team members focus on the goals?
So 54% says always, 24 is often, sometimes 17, rarely is 4%, and never is 1%.
So how important it is, right? So can we also simultaneously put in the chat box, please? Venkat, have we got any responses on that?
Yeah,
What should?
So to being accountable, teamwork for better results.
Okay. So don't you think personal investment of your time, I mean, the leader's time for your team member, that builds loyalty? If you invest some time for him, for his growth and development, and if any task or anything, the employee feels the same way that, my boss, my leader has invested his personal time, he sat with me and, he discussed with me the goals or the opportunities and my career development. So he also feels loyal, to give it back. So this is really important. So leaders, we need to not only focus on the goals, or not only help your team members to focus on the goals, but also you should help them to seek opportunities that enrich their career. So the next one is improve performance. So we can launch the poll simultaneously and also use the chat box. Why should the leader has to be responsible enough to improve the performance of his team member? That is for the chat box. And in the poll, do you help your team to stretch their performance? We need honest opinions, please, because that helps you to assess yourself. We are assessing the entire group, that's it. But at the end, you'll be assessing yourself.
So 52% are always, 24 often, 19 sometimes, rarely 4, and 1 never.
Okay. That's great. That's great. We have great leaders in our session. So let's move on to 1 second. I don't know why it's stuck.
So once you can come back and then you can reshare your screen.
Yes, Venkat. Sure, thank you. Yeah, the next one, this is the most important one that I feel is very critical, very important at this point of time, post-pandemic, engaging talent, the humanistic factor. In the survey results globally, the known or reputed renowned organization has found that only 12% of the leaders feel confident influencing engagement and the culture. This is really not good. So what we should do to engage employees? Yes, just take care of them and the employees, your team will do the rest, right? So the key leader behaviors that are expected are, the first one is well-being. Why should a leader care about the well-being of an employee, please? Can we put it in the chat box? And then we can also open up the next poll, Venkat.
Next poll is on work-life balance.
Yes. So the question is, do you support your team to have work-life balance, or does your manager support you to have work-life balance? This is tremendous. Always, we have 64%. Okay.
So always is 64, often 19, sometimes 12, rarely 3%, and never is 2%.
Okay, that's great. So your manager or your boss or you being the leader have taken care, of your team to have a very good work-life balance. This is the need of the hour. Congratulations. So why should we do that? Or why should we worry about the well-being of an employee? Do we have some answers in the chat box, Venkat?
It helps to get work going. If they are not happy, they will not work happy. And Samya says to support their mental health, to be productivity, to improve productivity.
Yes, great. Overall, can I say that, to give a nice humanizing experience throughout the employee life cycle for his stay in the organization? That's great. These are all awesome experiences. So a leader has to really, interact with their team members beyond the task. It's just not about the task every day you talk to him or discuss with your team members, but please let's go a little beyond and then, have nice interactions with him. And also see that you support him at every phase of his life cycle in the organization and see that he has an excellent work-life balance. But awesome. That's really great that we got 64% doing this, exhibiting this behavior. And then the next one is listen. Why should we listen to our team member? Do you listen to your team? Be honest, please. You need to understand, you need to close your eyes and think, are you really listening to your team? Because they may sound very simple, oh yes, I will listen, you'll just, put a tick for that. But are you doing that really?
So 64% are always, 26 often, 8% sometimes, 1 and 1 nearly and never.
That's great. That's awesome. So most of them, 64% of our audience will listen to their team. That is needed highly. So why? Why should we listen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do we have some answers?
Yes. So Rohan is telling that good listener is a good speaker and a good leader, to understand better, to know his or her pain point, remove the preoccupied roadblocks, to understand better, to build relationship.
Perfect. Yes. Overall, I mean, based on what all responses you have put, they all will strengthen the relationship between you and your boss. So listening is very important. So a leader has to actively listen. Not only that he has to actively listen, but he has to do a follow-up, whether he has understood really his pain points correctly or not. That is also very important. So following up is really important. And then you need to create an open line, for your employee's voice. You should never feel offended as a leader. So that's great. So the next behavior would be valuing employees. So this has become a very key factor in most of the organizations where the top leadership or really feel that this is very important, but it's not cascading properly, to the middle level or the frontline managers. That's the reason it's not always, what the top leadership says, but it has to be cascaded properly, and the frontline managers or the middle level managers have to be equipped with a lot of, providing them great opportunities to undergo proper training sessions to really understand the core values of the senior leadership or the organization. So Venkat, let's run the poll on valuing employees.
We have the poll on share ideas.
Share ideas.
Yeah.
So be very honest, please. Do you ask your team to share ideas? Oh my goodness. Or does your manager ask you for ideas? Okay.
63% says always, often is 20, sometimes 12, and 5% is rarely. Never is 0%.
That's really great. That's really good. So why should we respect employees? Why should we respect our team members?
So Sangaram Chaudhary says to motivate the team, it is the most required. So
Okay.
they will be feel accountable, they feel belonged, to empower the team, motivate to contribute more, motivation, motivation and empower, involving
Yeah.
the team to find solutions for the issues, sense of validation, to know the value of team members. It's a best practice to take ownership. These are the chat so far.
Perfect. Awesome. You guys are really awesome. Yeah. See, putting all your responses together, I would say that, it amplifies talent, right? This is really very important in an organization. Whatever hierarchy you belong to, respecting other individuals is highly important. It amplifies their talent. So it's a responsibility of a leader to recognize good work, to ask for ideas, and have an inclusive culture in the organization. That is highly needed. Yes. Thank you so much. And now I would like to share a small video where our I think I'm not getting this. 1 second.
Hi, Kavitha. The other video is ready. You want me to play the video that we initially wanted to play?
Maybe that we will put it little later.
Okay.
So that, right now this will be in sequence, Shiva. 1 second. Oh, okay. I have to go back and forth. Yeah.
The most important thing about being a good leader is treat everybody with kindness and respect, and to listen to people. People want to be heard. And if people feel you're hearing them and you care about their ideas, they're more likely to want to work with you and be your teammate. And a lot of being a good leader really is just figuring out how you can get a team to work together. It's hard to do great things just by yourself. It's better when you're working with others.
So this is what ex-President Obama says, that, how important it is on, giving importance to all those three behaviors that we just have discussed. So I think the audience, you should be ready for the self-assessment. Here, suppose if you have put never for your questions, please mark them. It scores 10 marks. Then if you have answered as rarely, please score yourself as 20. And if it is sometimes, please score yourself as 30 marks. And then for often, it's 40 marks. And then always 50 marks. So can you please count it after that for all the 9 questions? And if your score is less than 270, then you're following a managerial style, or your boss is following a managerial style. And if your score is more than 270, you're towards leadership style. And I think if you get 450, then you're the perfect leader, or the most effective leader, I would say. But I really don't want you to reveal. This is just for your sake, to self-assess yourself. So let's move on. But I'm glad that, we got a very good responses on always. So today, what all we have discussed, is just, the top part of the iceberg. Maybe you might have heard self-leadership, how you have to evolve. The iceberg leadership says that, all the behaviors, whatever are reflected outside or visible, they are because, of the attitudes. And all
Ma'am, we lost your audio.
That of an effective leadership. So this session we are talking just about the key behaviors, but a comprehensive leadership program is one that helps you to navigate through, to improve your attitudes or your belief system. So thank you so much. And yes, Shiva, I think we are done with this, right?
Yes, ma'am. Do you have anything to share, or shall we go ahead to the next part?
I think we have to go ahead with the next part. Yeah.
Okay. So once again, I thank you for agreeing.
No. I'm sorry. I think I have to move to the next screen, but I really don't know. I got stuck here. Kindly hold on for just 1 second, please.
Okay. No problem.
Oops.
No problem, ma'am. If the screen is like that also, that is okay. So now we are moving to Q&A section. So before we move to the Q&A section, I would like to take this opportunity to launch a feedback poll to understand how audience like the session.
Okay, sure.
And
Can you
also
video that Shiva was just now informing us, right? He has got that with him.
Sure, we can play it, ma'am.
Sure.
So in the meantime, I request audience, if you can see the feedback poll on your screens, please answer the poll. It helps us to curate many more wonderful sessions like this. And in the meantime, if Shiva Sharan is available, sir, can you play the video?
Yes, Venkat, just give me one moment.
Sure.
And before Shiva does that, I would like to share a few things, Venkat. So today, the important part is unlocking your potential. I'm sure there is a leader in everybody, right? So once you unlock your potential, and what do you think is unlocking the potential? It's the key is the focus. You have so many strengths, but maybe you're not aware of that. So you need to unlock it. You need to focus on your strengths. You need to focus today. It's not that you wait for another new year and take a resolution, right? And you need to focus on priorities that gives good results. And you have to focus on your contribution. Like, it's not you're doing this just because somebody has expected this from you or somebody has asked. You have to come out or contribute yourself passionately. So these are the few tips, to unlock your potential, and that lies only in you. So when I say the leaders are born or made, they have that as an inherent, every human being on this planet, but you have to self-made your leadership. That is very, very important. It's not somebody makes you a leader, but you have to, it's a self-leadership always. That's how you need to evolve. So thank you so much for giving this opportunity, and very sorry for hiccups here and there. I'm sure this will be sorted out soon.
Ma'am, if possible, can you stop sharing your screen?
Sure. I don't know. My cursor is not moving, Venkat. That's where I'm stuck.
If you stop sharing, then Shiva can play the video.
Oh, thank God. I really wanted to play this too. Can we go ahead, please?
Yes, ma'am.
You're the leader. It's on you. You didn't pick leadership. It picked you.
We can't see the video.
Call for this. Break out of your shell. You have what it takes. You were born with it. It's in you. A seed.
Shiva, sir, we can't see
Embrace
the
it. Invest
video.
in your success. Study leadership. Read books, watch videos, listen to podcasts. Create your leadership brand. Then live that brand every day. Make a massively positive impact on your team. Love your team. Pour into your team. Lead them. They don't want a manager, they want a leader, a heroic figure, a role model. Be that. Build a championship team. See the potential in every person. Pull it out of them. Coach them. Inspire them. Teach them. Demand excellence from them. And all along the way, be the example. You set the tone. You cast the vision. You bring the attitude, effort, and energy. So start moving. No regrets. They will follow you. Make the culture your #1 priority. It's your performance.
If you can hear me,
It's what provides the energy and passion needed to fulfill your plan and achieve your mission, to make your vision a reality. If you invest in the culture, the performance will follow. Championship leaders build championship teams that drive championship performance. Focus on the culture and execution of your team in order to capture the dream. You're the leader. It's on you.
Shiva, sir, we couldn't see the video.
No, I didn't play that audio. I think ma'am played that audio.
Okay.
So you can share it now, Shiva.
Venkat, can you stop the poll if that is done?
Do you think I can play, Shiva? You want me to play that?
I'll just try it once more.
Yeah.
Both are older son. Then change both. Older keep it outside. Use it somewhere in there.
Can you hear the audio?
No.
I think I can try now.
Okay.
I'll try, Shiva.
Ma'am, you can try if you cannot hear the audio.
सर आपके लिए उस पार कार का इंतजाम किया है कराइए चल चल चलो तो हिंदुस्तान चले तुम चलो तो हिंदुस्तान चले तुम चलो तो हिंदुस्तान चले तुम चलो तो हिंदुस्तान चले लगा हाथ के सूरज
this video reflects how a leader behaves in uncertainty and inspires, others. And at the same time, he's enjoying it. He's doing it with a lot of, fun and motivating others. I have even other, can we play this, Venkat? Because the video was
Yes, ma'am, you can go ahead.
Beautiful video, please.
You're the leader. It's on you. You didn't pick leadership, it picked you. You're called for this. Break out of your shell. You have what it takes. You were born with it. It's in you. A seed. Water it. Embrace it. Invest in your success. Study leadership. Read books, watch videos, listen to podcasts. Create your leadership brand. Then live that brand every day. Make a massively positive impact on your team. Love your team. Pour into your team. Lead them. They don't want a manager, they want a leader, a heroic figure, a role model. Be that. Build a championship team. See the potential in every person. Pull it out of them. Coach them. Inspire them. Teach them. Demand excellence from them. And all along the way, be the example. You set the tone. You cast the vision. You bring the attitude, effort, and energy. So start moving. No regrets. They will follow you. Make the culture your #1 priority. It's your performance environment. It's what provides the energy and passion needed to fulfill your plan and achieve your mission. To make your vision a reality. If you invest in the culture, the performance will follow. Championship leaders build championship teams that drive championship performance. Focus on the culture and execution of your team in order to capture the dream. You're the leader. It's on you.
Thank you for being with me so patiently. And these are the few things that which I have said earlier to unlock your potential, that you need to focus on your strengths. You have to focus today. You have to focus on your priorities that gives you results. And then, it's you who have to contribute, not it's by passion and not by force. So be bold and be you. So thank you so much for the opportunity and for a great interaction with you all. Thanks, Shiva and Venkat.
So if anyone want any questions to be answered from Kavitha, you can raise your hands so that I can move you to panel and she can answer the questions. And in the meantime, if not possible, you can put your questions in the chat box also so that I can read it out for you and it can be answered now. So we have a raised hand, ma'am.
Sure.
So Sairam Gaud, if you can hear me, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I can hear, right?
Sairam Gaud?
No, we are good actually. No question.
Okay, no problem. So we don't see any questions, ma'am. Seems the thing is very perfect and everyone understood.
Yeah, it's a very simple concept. Everybody thinks leadership is very complex, but no, it's as simple as that. Leadership is nothing but simplicity. That's what I know. So I think Varun has raised hand, right?
Varun has raised the hand. Just a moment. Varun, if you can hear me, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
So thanks, Venkat, for unmuting me. So ma'am, I just want to know, to be honest, I am in the managerial place, and what is the best way to move to the managerial to the leadership way? It sounds simple just to move and get this thing done. But what are the steps that needs to be taken to reach to that particular leadership skills from the managerial way?
Great question, Varun. See, as we discussed throughout the session, these are the simple set of behaviors that we have to practice every day, these are very essential. Like when I say, the food, air, and water, how they are important to us, even to move from a managerial to a leadership role, you need to, change the way you look at things, your perspective, your attitude, all these things, they are somewhere inside you, really. You have good attitudes, good intention, everything, but somehow it was not traced. So you need to focus on those attitudes and those belief systems, that really helps you to perform the explicit behaviors. That's it, as simple as that. But though they look very simple, they are really not easy, because you need to practice them, and it has to become a habit for you. So when you say you need to listen to your team members, do you think it's easy for everybody? No, I don't think so. Even if you start listening, if you don't do with your heart, then you can't become an effective leader. And your team member really or correctly judges you. So the set of behaviors that I have mentioned in all of us, the 3 slides, like, the how to lead, how to equip your employees, and how to engage them. And under this, we have 3 sets under each category. If you start practicing little bit, on all these things, start slowly, then I'm sure you definitely get into the dream role that what you have said just now. It's just practice. Hope I answered your question, Varun.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, ma'am.
Thank you.
Oh, we'll take one more question from the audience, ma'am.
Sure.
It is Sangram Chaudhary. So Sangram Chaudhary, if you can hear me, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Hi, thank you for giving me opportunity to ask. My question is, in day-to-day life, we go through a lot of stress.
Sangram Chaudhary, if possible, can you ask your teammates to off their audio so that your audio will not be disturbed? Ask your teammates to mute all their laptops so that you can ask the question.
Can you hear me now?
We can, but there is a disturbance.
I think.
You are echoing, Sangram.
Hello.
Maybe you can put in the chat at least.
It is clear enough. You can ask the question.
Yeah, in day-to-day life, we come through a lot of stress. So how to manage the stress? I think those who can manage the stress well, they can become a super leader, I believe. So how to manage the stress at this level?
See, stress management is also a part of leadership, right? Unless you manage your stress, you can't relieve stress of your team members. So definitely, you have to take time for yourself. It's not just always the work. That's what I said, right? Work-life balance. You need to create a very good balance of your work and life. Then that's happily relieves your stress. Of course, when you get into a stress management training session, you'll have lots and lots of input, Sangram. But in a simpler way, what I would like to tell you today is you need to balance your work as well as life. Then your stress will be out. And it's very important so that you take out of the stress of your team also. Thanks for the question. Nice question.
Thank you. Thank you.
One more raised hand from the audience. So
Sure.
MR, if you can hear me, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks for the nice lecture. My question is, I used to listen to my team members, but they misuse the things. My freeness, they're misusing. So how to avoid this?
Very great question, MR. I'm sorry. I don't know your name, but it's reflecting as MR. See, this is a short-term constraint what you're facing. But if you're consistent, in doing what you're doing now, then one fine day, I really see this kind of friction happening and I received the same question from almost in all the sessions. we are doing, we are practicing what all the, different behaviors, but the team is taking advantage of such nice leadership. But, you need to overcome that. How? Don't leave this behavior, but, you keep continuing that. I think if you're consistent enough, and if you really, I said, listen and then follow up and make a small instant, at least, with your team member where you really listen, follow up to understand his pain. And then, you clear that. Then, he will surrender himself to you one day. And, it's everybody knows, and your problem would be solved.
Great.
Hope I answered your question.
Thank you.
So I think with this we came to an end of the webinar, ma'am. And once again, I thank you so much for agreeing and doing this session for us. I think our audience loved the session, and also there are many key takeaways from the session. So everyone from now on will inculcate what you have said as what we have to be to become a great leader instead of manager. So thank you so much once again for agreeing and doing the session. And also I thank all the audience for attending the session. And next week we are with the session on the art of appreciation. See you next week.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.